The following documentary is based on a true life event that spans more than 5 decades. In this 5-part series, we uncover the hidden story of one man's extraordinary encounters and the question that has followed him his entire life. Are we truly alone?
I had to be about 6 years old when it all started. I remember laying in bed for hours all night staring into the darkness. This went on for many nights and many years. One night, I felt something. It was an extremely calm feeling. And I say this when I say calm, I mean, you laying there and you hear it, you wake up, you laying there, then all of a sudden you can feel the wind blowing, you can hear things, you can hear, maybe hear an ant crawling. You know, you can just hear things, but this type of quietness was like everything had stopped moving. I mean, it was like the sound of the crickets had stopped. The wind wasn't blowing. It was a perfect calm feeling. That's what made me more afraid, because I could hear nothing. I could only sense. I had this keen sense that it was something had made, just like if I was sitting in this room and all of a sudden it just, if everything might get quiet and still, but there's this, it's like if a ghost or a presence walked into this room and you could sense it. You have that feeling. I then felt something enter this calmness. I could sense it. And whatever it was could sense me in my bed, in my house. My fears grew so intense that to this date, I suffer with a phobia. Now that's something I never told anyone. I've become a very, very extremely quiet person. I can get loud and I can talk when I want to, but most of the time, after so many years in that calmness, I could just wait to feel the presence. It's like you can almost feel what's wicked or what's not wicked. I would be laying in bed staring into the night, everyone asleep. Then all of a sudden, this calm feeling would come. It wouldn't just come after everybody would fall asleep. It would come like in the night, like I would say between 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about everybody is just completely out. I had to be about age 6. I was so afraid, so scared, and didn't understand what was happening at that age. This went on for years. I mean, it went on for a little while. But I did realize that it didn't matter if I was asleep or awake. Once this calm feeling came, I would instantly know it was about to start. This calm feeling that I would get didn't just come. I only got that feeling when I knew they were coming. This calm feeling was like being in a space or a room, and then all of a sudden you could hear the most infinite sound. It was like something entered not just the space in my room, but the the space in the neighborhood, the space in the house, and I can sense them coming. And I say that, you know, it was like, it was like a presence was coming, and I knew they was coming. I could feel it. I don't care if they was down the street. I could feel them coming, just like that. And I would be scared. I didn't know what I was afraid of. I was just petrified with fear. Never in my life I'd be like, slow this fear down. I couldn't take it no more. It was coming out of me. One night, everyone was in their deep sleep. I can remember just laying there in my bed, not able to sleep. It had to be about 3 o'clock in the morning. As I laid there in bed, that calm feeling came over me again. And I began to fringe with terror. I mean, literally, I was like, I couldn't see nothing, I couldn't hear nothing, it was like pressure. It was like a calm feeling. It was like it's like being in too much space and too much space around you. I can't even describe it. It was like space, fear, being in a closed space. I can't describe which one it was, but I can remember, to this day, I can still remember that feeling. I mean, I was more afraid and scared than I ever been in my life. I mean, here I am, 6 years old, and I'm like, I can't even stand the darkness. I got so scared that I thought my soul was going to leap out of my body. I mean, literally, it was times when I would just, I would be so scared, I'd be like, my teeth would be, I was like, and I didn't understand what was going on. I couldn't see nothing but the dark. Here I am laying in the dark, but I knew something. I remember laying in bed, and I could sense somebody approaching the house. Now, I couldn't see anything. I wasn't looking out no window, and I wasn't looking around the room, and I wasn't looking out the window to see if anyone was coming, because I was too afraid to move out of my bed. I could just sense something approaching. I could just feel it. It was a strong feeling or a strong presence. I mean, whatever it was, they was like giving us strong vibes, whatever it was. It gave me the feeling of pure terror. I mean, when I felt that feeling, I would get literally froze. I would literally feel myself because I would be trembling so hard. I can remember that night so well because I almost swallowed my heart. I had pulled the covers over my head. I mean, because I didn't, if it was my father, I didn't know what it was. But I pulled the covers over my head and I laid there not making a sound. Now, whoever it was or whatever it was came over and stood over my brothers and me. One that came over and he stood over my brother. And I felt it because our bed was like this, 3 beds lined up. And I felt them go over and just stand there. And I knew they had to be looking down at him. They, whatever it was, they came over and stood over me. And boy, you talking about shivering of the worst kind. I laid there and shivered so hard that I almost stopped breathing. I mean, I didn't move. I didn't do nothing. I may have held my breath for about a minute or two, then began to think. They thought they knew I was asleep, but then I knew they knew I wasn't asleep. It was like I was laying there, shivering and shivering, and they standing over me. And I'm wondering if they're going to grab me, or I'm wondering if I have to yell or what. But that next night came. I was so afraid to go to bed that I just sat there at a window and stared out most of the night. I mean, I would just go to the window with a chair and just look out. I remember sitting there just looking out and looking up. I then looked up at the stars. I saw a star moving. I mean, literally, I just saw a star. I mean, just coming across. It was just coming across. It was strange to me because I can recall this star moving and then stopping directly over our house. Now I'm looking out the window now. The window used to have a screen, but the screen wasn't there, so I'm looking out an open window. So I remember sticking my head out the window and looking up at the star, and the star was like right above our house. I remember watching this star, and then all of a sudden, here come another star. I mean, it just literally, these two stars was like, not one star, but now we got two stars right there. And I'm looking up at these stars, and these stars moving towards like, and I was watching them, and man, they became like one star, one little bright star. I can remember sitting there for hours, watching these stars. Yeah, it got late, and I'm still sitting there trying to watch these stars, because these stars was like right above the house, and I'm looking out. And then I remember everybody had fallen asleep. And I'm still sitting there looking up at these stars. And my attention was focused so much. I remember sitting there. I walked to the front door. I walked through the living room to the front door because the kitchen was like this way. And I just walked across, and I'm still about 5, 6. I mean, I cracked the door, and I can recall seeing 4, whatever they were, I would say human-like, whatever, being standing right there at the door. It was like a step down on the porch, so you had to step down, maybe a step, and they just standing there. I mean, I could tell they were grown, but they were real small. They was like real small. Now at that time, 5, 6 years old, I was a little guy, but they was small. And I could remember their great features. They were smaller than me. And as soon as I caught a glimpse of their eyes and their head, like hell. Now my mother's room was like right off from the front door. So the front door is here, and I ran to her room and I was so little that I crawled literally under her bed, and I crawled so far back under the bed. As I laid there under my mother's bed, I peered out. Now I'm under the bed, and I'm peering out. That same old calm feeling came over me. I mean, here I am under the bed. I'm under the bed now. I'm squeezed under, and then all of a sudden, here comes that feeling. I'm like. But what I saw, I couldn't even imagine, because it was like I'm staring out. Now I'm under the bed, and I only got this much space to look out, because I'm under the bed and I'm looking, and all I see is legs, little legs, running through our house, like, and I'm looking, and at that age, I'm thinking, this is a cartoon. I mean, I'm under the bed. I'm way back up under the bed. I'm like way under the bed, like, and I'm looking. It's like looking at a cartoon, but it was, and I'm thinking, wait a minute now. There's some kids in our house. Some kids that came in our house and are walking through our house. But this went on for years. I mean, I can recall this going on for years. Those first few years were the first worst years, because I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that this was going on, and it was like a routine thing. I was young, scared, afraid, and didn't know what was. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how to handle the situation. I didn't know how to think through the situation. All I knew was fear. Fear. That was the only thing that kept me from knowing what was going on. And for 3 nights out of a year, they would come and make their visitation. Now I say that because they would come. When it first started off, it started like they would come for 3 days, and that would be it for the whole year. Nothing else would be going on after that. For those 3 nights, I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't think. Those days lived on in my life to this day with pure terror. I can think about that but now I'm older. See, I can't. I'm wanting to know what it was. Now when I think about it, I don't even know what I was afraid of, but fear kept me from knowing what it was. All I knew was they would come to our